76, Sri Jose K. Mani.
Question number 76.
Honorable
Sir,
Minister.
the reply is laid on the table of House.
Supplementary 1.
So the limonite minerals have extensive application in atomic energy, defense and space sector for various strategic purposes in the country. In the draft proposal for amending the Minerals Act 1975, government has proposed to revoke its 2019 ban on private entities. Just days before the draft proposal was placed before the public consultation, it is alleged that two new companies dealing with the same strategic important rare materials have been registered by the leading corporate company which is already facing an allegation. Sir, this will definitely opening up this area.
Please ask your supplementary.
Yeah, I'm coming. This is the question, sir. Opening up the strategic mineral sector to private entities against national security. What is the government's stand on the proposed amendment, and does the government have any plans to reconsider its decision regarding opening up this critical sector to private entities?
Honorable Minister.
Chairman, sir, through you, I wish to inform the honourable member that, as he rightly mentioned, limonite has varied properties. It's used in paint, in paper, also nowadays in the aviation sector, in the making of aircrafts, even the health sector, in the making of implants. But as such, there has the price of the limonite, which is available from three states, primarily Kerala, Odisha, and Tamil Nadu, is determined by the market dynamics. And the Kerala government had actually put a rider that they should be given the first preference. Only after that it is available to the other entities. In Kerala itself, we have two PSUs, and one is the private sector. And rather, I would say that I would solicit the help of the state government there. We have certain constraints in making full utilization and full exploration of it. A, because of the dense population in those areas, the surface rights of the landowners come in the way they do not always allow. But more importantly, the Kerala government had given us this lease way back in 1970. And the lease was for 4 blocks for a period of 20 years. Then it got renewed in 1990, again 20 years. Then the renewal was due in 2010, but it was denied. 2 blocks were totally denied. The other 2 blocks were given permission or lease only for 5 years. So 5, then 5, then 5. That was the third segment of 5. So the constraint actually is happening from the side of the Kerala government, rather. And
that is true for PSU.
Yes. Yeah. And there are 2 PSUs. One is the Travancore Titanium. The other one is Kerala Minerals Limited. Kerala Minerals and Metals Limited. So now, in fact, the Travancore Limited is putting pressure on us that they should be getting price which is available for the limonite or the titanium available from Odisha coast. Now, incidentally, the scientific fact is that the eastern coast is richer in the mineral, but the content is lesser. So here the overall quantity may be lesser, but the content inside is more. And therefore, the price is not effective or manageable. So I think that is the reason. In fact, the constraint on the functioning of the IREL is coming more from the preferences which have been put forward by the state government rather than IREL per se.
Honorable Member, second supplementary.
Sir, I have not asked for the price details. I have asked for a single direct question. It is a strategic component in the atomic energy. Whether the government is planning to lift the ban which is on the private entities. That is my question. He has not answered to that. So my second supplementary, what are the steps taken by the government to protect the public sector undertaking like the IREL, which produce strategic important rare minerals used for the atomic energy purpose, strategic commodity it is, whether government plans to privatize this sector in future? This is a
Honorable
direct
Minister.
question.
No, as I said, to add to what he was mentioning to the earlier question, there is only one private company there in Kerala to which the mineral is made available only after the government-run PSUs have exhausted their demand. That was our commitment. We are sticking to that. The lack of commitment if happening is from the other side. Now, as far as the protection of these minerals are concerned, I agree with him. These are B sandy minerals, and we are, in fact, equally careful, cautious about this because out of these 7 beach minerals, one is monazite, which is also a source of thorium. And India happens to be the storehouse of thorium in the sense that we have 21% of it, and we are also looking forward to have world's first ever thorium-run reactor in the form of Bhavani, which is also going to be made functional by next year or 2024. In fact, I would use this opportunity to say that out of the 22 reactors that we have in India today, as many as 10 to 11 were established only during the last 8.5 years of this government. Not only that, no, yes, but I can add to, yes, I'm adding to the answer. And secondly, what I'm trying to say is the intent of the government is so clear, so sincere, and so committed. The irony, sir, is that the first ever agreement for a reactor establishment was done way back in 1988. If you go back in the history, that was Kandakalam. But the construction work, and then construction work started in 2011. 2001. And till then, it had not been made functional. It was only after this government came, within 6 months, in November 2014, we made the first unit functional. Now the 4 units are already functional. So I think we are moving on a fast track, trying to make up for the lapse or the time slag of the past governments, also living up to the commitment and the national interest. We have, in fact, fortified our means and our mechanism of guarding these metals, as you were saying, referring to your question. We are not only now using the radiation methods or the radio checkposts, we are now also using space technology to detect any pilferage of these minerals happening.
Dr. Fozia Khan. Dr. Fozia Khan.
Unanswered question. No answer.
Sir, since the Honorable Prime Minister is here, I would like to take liberty to ask a question about something which is near my neighboring district. There's एक भारत की पहली LIGO लेज़र इंफोरोमेट्री ग्रेविटेशनल वेव लेबोरेटरी है जो हमारे औंढा नागनाथ के दुधाला गांव में एस्टैब्लिश की जा रही है और उस ऑब्जर्वेटरी का विशेषता ये है कि ये दुनिया में तीसरी लेबोरेटरी है। ये इससे पहले 2 जो है अमेरिका के बाहर है, मौजूदा हैंसफोर्ड वॉशिंगटन में और लिविंगस्टन ल्यूजियाना में स्थित है। सर 100 करोड़ रुपए ऑलरेडी इस पर स्पेंड हो गए हैं। मेरी विनंती है कि अगर ये काम हम इस G20 के वर्ष में करते हैं तो बहुत बड़ा काम हो सकता है हमारे हिंदुस्तान के लिए। ये एक बहुत फेदर इन द कैप हो सकता है। 100 करोड़ स्पेंड हो गए हैं, 1200 करोड़ इसमें लगने वाले हैं। क्या माननीय प्रधानमंत्री इस विशेष प्रयोगशाला के लिए आगे काम बढ़ाएंगे?
Honorable Minister.
The question of the honourable member refers to one specific laboratory. I think we'll get the update and furnish it to her because it's not directly related to the department of the question.
Sri V. Vijay Reddy.
Sir, thank you for the opportunity, sir. I'm very happy that Honorable Prime Minister is present. Sir, now that Honorable Minister has agreed that there is a private sector...
Sir, your question.
That's sir. Honorable Minister has stated in this August House that the private sector is allowed in the mining of sand minerals. Sir, since the government is allowing the private entities to engage the mining beach sand minerals like limonite sand, which are considered to be one among the 7 which are very important, the Honorable Minister has said, sir, strategic rare earth minerals. How does the government of India intend to regulate this industry, because private sector is there, so that it does not lead to unfair practices?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, sir. I think the concern of the honorable member is well taken. But he would also appreciate that if you go by the sequence of events of the last 7, 8 years or 9 years, there has been considerable improvement. There was a time around 2013-12 when most of the newspapers published from Chennai had every fortnight one or the other news reported about some smuggling happening over there. Because the irony is that out of these 7 minerals, some of the private parties would secure a license to dig out granite for building purposes. But in the garb of that, they would also take out monazite, which is actually required for the thorium, for uranium-233, and therefore for the nuclear reactors. But after this government came in, we have supplemented not only the existing safeguards, but as I said, even we have now started using the other means like space technology, because through space technology, through satellite imaging, you can determine the different shades of the minerals, and any suspicious activity happening there can be detected. Thirdly, I would also again, coming back to what I was saying in response to the first question, the law and order also pertains to the state government. So we are repeatedly requesting the concerned state governments to be more cooperative, because the police deployment and the other features are under their control. But we are very cautious about it, and regardless of whether it is a private party or a public sector unit, I think the caution remains the same.
Shri Ilamaram Karim.
Thank you, sir. The strategically important rare earths are available at seashore. Kerala seashore, as you said, it is thickly populated. Whether government has conducted any ecological study, what will be the impact of private concerns mining at the seashore? Whether government has conducted any study? If yes, will you provide a copy to members? If not, before giving permission to private hands for mining, a proper study on ecological impact should be conducted.
Honorable Minister.
No, I think the honorable member's concern is well taken, but I would like to share with him that this is something which is been there right from the beginning. And we have something called Atomic Energy Regulatory Board, which is the overall umbrella under the aegis of which the IREL also functions. So not only this, even in other issues like this, which require to be guarded or to be monitored, I think the due exercise is done. And wherever the mining is done, in fact, I would rather solicit the support of the cooperation of the public representatives, because some of the places we get undue apprehensions being created in the public mind when we undertake a project. Like, for example, we have a huge source of uranium in northeastern state of Meghalaya, which got stuck up. In Rawalbhata, we were about to put up a plant which has been stuck up for the last 2-3 years or so. And therefore, all the due caution is taken wherever this mining is done, or even the reactor is set up. But it's only the apprehension which happens. Sometimes somebody says that there will be now epidemic of cancers happening or something like that. Though we have provided them studies to the contrary, we did a small in-house survey to see how many scientists working in Bhava Atomic Center died of cancer due to radiations. And you would be surprised, we found none. There were only 2 or 3 unnatural deaths happening, and 1 or 2 cancers which were not related to radiation. So I think it's a responsibility of all of us to allay these fears. In some of the foreign countries now, the mining and the reactors are being established even in the residential colonies or in their close vicinity.
Shri question number 77.